Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here then welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be my June 2024 TBR, otherwise known as my Pride Month TBR, which happy Pride Month to us all. I am still in a little bit of a reading slump at the time of filming this. I'm hoping that it's not as bad as it has been because I am very much looking forward to this TBR and I do not want my reading slump to ruin this. So I will have the content warnings for everything that I can find linked down below in the description along with some other resources, and let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and start this TBR off with one of my current reads, which is He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan. This is an adult fantasy and the second book in the Radiant Emperor duology. The first book is She Who Became the Sun, and this series is a reimagining of the Emperor of the Ming Dynasty's rise to power. I am currently on page 43. I'm not sure that that's changed since the last time I've given an update, but will hopefully change by the time this video goes up, because my focus is going to just basically be here for a little bit since I haven't gotten to read it since late April, and I miss it. It is the sequel to my favorite book that I read in 2023, so yeah, I am definitely ready to finish this for sure. Next up are going to be two books for my spring TBR because we technically still have some spring left even though it does very much feel like summer right now, and those are Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree and The Do's and Donuts of Love by Adiba Jagradar. And Legends and Lattes follows our main character who is leaving the warrior's life to open the city's first ever coffee shop. But when her old frenemies and the city's shady underground threaten her plans, she realizes that she is going to need a new resolve and also some new partners. I feel like this is going to be really cozy, and I really want like a bright, sunny, warm day where I can read this outside, and I'm assuming that that's going to happen at some point in June because like April and May did not give me a lot of opportunities. But I'm excited for the fantasy elements, the characters, and the romance, and just basically everything. This book is pretty hyped up, and because of that my own hopes for it are pretty high too. The Do's and Donuts of Love follows our main character who lands a role in a new televised baking competition alongside her ex-girlfriend. Her dream come true quickly turns much more complicated, however, when she becomes fast friends and maybe even something more with one of the other contestants. I really loved Hani Anishu's Guide to Fake Dating by this author when I read that a couple of years ago, and this one also sounds like it's going to be really cute and really fun. I'm excited that it's going to have a lot of baking elements, and again, I've heard good things about this, and I really have no reason to believe that I'm not going to give this book a high rating, so hopefully I will. Okay, so it is now time to talk about some other books that I have my eye on for this month, including Loveless by Alice Oseman. And Loveless follows our main character who has never interacted with love in any way other than her being a fanfic-obsessed romantic who is sure that she will find her person one day. She begins university with her best friends and is ready to achieve her quote-unquote teenage dream. However, when her romance plans cause havoc amongst her friends, she begins to wonder why love seems so easy for others but not for her. This has been on just a ridiculous amount of my TBRs at this point, so this will be another one that I will be prioritizing if I can, and this also just has the potential to be one of my favorite books of the year, if not my favorite book of the year, based off of the description and just, you know, Alice Oseman. And I do feel like I have been running from like the potential emotions and feelings that I'm going to have for this book by the time I'm done with it, but I also want to stop running from that, and it's just time. Next up is Stars in Your Eyes by Kaysen Callender. This follows two actors named Logan and Maddie. Logan is Hollywood's bad boy, and Maddie is an up-and-coming star. When they get cast as the leads in a new romantic film, Logan claims that Maddie doesn't have any talent, which hurts the publicity of the film, and in order to save it, they are going to have to start fake dating one another. But as they start to get to know their new characters more, real feelings begin to form. And speaking of all-time favorites, we have a Kaysen Callender book here. I've already read two very lovely books by this author this year in Larkin Kassim's Starting Revolution and Infinity Alchemist, and this author just constantly finds new ways to impress me and just make me fall absolutely in love with at least one thing about every book that I've read, and oftentimes it is more than just one thing or just the whole book that I'm in love with. So yeah, this should be a good time too. Next up is The Skin in Its Girl by Sarah Cipher, and this follows a queer Palestinian woman who was born stillborn, turning her skin permanently blue. Years later, she visits her aunt's gravestone with a decision to make between staying in the only country that she has ever known or following the woman that she loves and her heart. She ends up finding her answer in her aunt's notebooks that detail her complex life and struggle with her own sexuality that she kept to herself. and our main character discovers that her aunt actually kept much more than that to herself as well. I do think that I am going to be listening to the audiobook version of this, which is why it's not physically here, but this sounds incredible. Storygraph also says that it dives into exile and lineage along with identity, and a lot of the reviews say that the writing is really beautiful. But yeah, I do think that this book is going to have a pretty large impact on me for a lot of reasons, both from the content of the story and also just from real life events that are happening right now. And on that note, I am filming this at a time where Rafa has just been attacked, which is so devastating. Like, I don't really have words for it, but I do have resources in the descriptions of my videos, so please check those out, seek out others, and just don't stop doing what you can and advocating and just speaking up against what's happening here. Okay, so finally we do have some manga to talk about today, starting with Bloom Into You by Nakatani Neo. And this follows our main character, who is a big fan of shoujo manga and has always dreamed of the day where she would get a confession of her own. However, when that day comes from one of her male classmates, she ends up feeling nothing. She enters high school still unsure of how to respond to this person, but gets inspired when she sees the student council president turn down her own suitor, so she goes to ask her for advice. Our main character's romance may have finally come, however, when the next confession that she receives is from that student council president herself. This was a series that I started a couple of years ago. I read the first volume of the light novel series and also the first volume of the manga, so didn't get very far. But that's because I just didn't have a lot of the volumes back then, but I do now. And I also do feel like 8 volumes is like a good number to like accomplish throughout the month. And I've been holding off on watching their anime too because I want to read this first, but I also do really want to watch their anime. So reading this, it needs to happen, and hopefully it happens this month. And next up is I Hear the Sunspot by Yuki Fumino. And this series follows Kohei, who is deaf and has kept his distance from life on campus as he is often misunderstood. That is until he meets Taichi, who tells him that his hearing loss is not his fault, which opens Kohei's heart and breaks through all of his defenses. I love the covers of these volumes so much, and a lot of them are very sunny, very warm, which just makes me want to read them in the summer. And I'm also just feeling very drawn to this art style in general based on the covers. This is another series that I've been wanting to read for a while now, so I'm excited. And now are the series that I am caught up to and will be reading chapters from over on the Shonen Jump and Manga Plus apps. And also to clarify, these are not Pride Month related, at least at the time I'm filming this, you never know. But yeah, it's the same group as usual. Akane Banashi, Blue Box, Kaiju number 8, Kaiju number 8 B-side, Kagurabachi, and You and I are polar opposites. Okay, so that is all that I have for this video. Once again, content warnings, resources down in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that, and hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!